Okay. I'm here today with Ashley, who is a member of the readers group for my books. And she was the beautiful, wonderful woman who inspired the heroine in my latest book, Shame. Her name is Ashley. Hello, Ashley.
Hi.
And we've made the character Ashley, right? Because she's inspired by Ashley, but of course it's a fictional novel that's come through whatever is inside here to come out as a romance novel character that hopefully we can all, relate to and enjoy going through the story of. So, all right. So first I'll just walk through a little bit of the history of what happened between you and me leading up to the writing of this so people know. So basically we had an email and said, if you're interested in entering this contest to be the heroine of the next Ember series book, go ahead. And Ashley, who had never done anything like that before in her entire life, I found out later, said, yeah, why not, So she entered and she won. And I was so excited when I saw the photo of her before we even talked, because here she was with her horse and a whole world of cool stuff that already got my brain going in all these different directions. Because who wants to read a series of books that are Daniela's? Nobody. So, and then we had an interview, and I absolutely loved everything Ashley said. I was typing everything up and I recorded it all so I wouldn't miss anything. And she was telling me all these wonderful things, and we got along really well. And right away, it was so funny how inspiring it was to do it that way. Like in the past, I've interviewed people, like, say the character was like a florist or something, right? Like I might go and spend a day in a flower shop and see what it's like, when you get to eat, if you're hungry, and what your relationship is like with the customers and the people you work with, stuff like that. But I mean, it was just so awesome, our conversation. Anyway, but I remember when we first talked, you just sort of said, like, I've never done anything like this. And so I would love for people to hear, like, did you have any expectations? Were you like a bit like freaked out? Were you excited? What was going on there?
I was definitely excited, little bit nervous.
Yeah.
But who doesn't want to be, in a story? So, I've read since I was a little kid, it's always been, would be so cool to be in a book and be a
Yeah.
character. And when I saw that, I was like, what the heck, nothing to lose, I'll give it a shot. And I was picked. I was so
Yeah.
surprised.
That's so awesome. And so when you say you're always a big reader, tell us a little bit about what you like to read.
Well, I always started with like animal books, James Harriet and all those. And then I got into horse books when I started riding. So like the Saddle Club series, Thoroughbred series, and just any book I could get, pretty much if it had a horse in it, I read it. So
Yeah. Which is
and
so
then
cool that your
yeah,
romance novel, you is a horse person.
yeah,
And
yeah, I
it's so
didn't
funny
even start
talking
with
to you
it.
here, because here you are in your tack room, and I had that in my head all these months while I was writing, and when I was picturing Ashley in at work over there. So it's just a bit surreal for me as well, actually.
Yeah, this is my happy place. I'm like the most zen in my tack room. So
That's so cool. And you know what? It was so funny because I knew that. And even though the series took place in San Francisco, I knew I could not have this character leave her home. Like, I was like, there's just no way that I could do that to her. Like, it just could not happen. So I'm not going to give too much away, but that was definitely in the back of my mind. So now, then we had our interview, right? And you walked away and you didn't hear anything for months and months and months. Did you think about it at all during that time? Like, I wonder what she's doing with me.
yeah, no, I was like, anxiously awaiting, and of course in your group. So every time you'd post, oh, we're coming along, I'm getting excited about Shane, and I just was like, okay, I can't wait. I want to see how it goes.
Okay, and now, so what was it like when you actually started reading this book and you had this different kind of connection to it than like probably anyone has ever had in their life? I mean,
Yeah, it was a little surreal, like, okay, oh, that's me, especially like when you mentioned my horse Wesley, because he's
yeah,
like the most important thing to me. And I
yes.
was more excited Wesley was in the book than, than I was.
I couldn't not have him in the book. I mean, he's such a big part of who you are, right?
Yeah. So I was just like, oh my God, it's Wesley. And that was the highlight.
And what about Shane? What did you think of Shane?
I mean, of course, Australian guys are super hot with the accent. So like that was cool.
Yeah. Like, oh, I've never been with an Australian. How interesting.
So, it's like one of the things that's like, I kind of always wish would happen actually happened in the book. So I was just kind of like, okay, that is like something that, I know I'd never, I'm married, so I'm never going to be with a musician. So,
Yeah.
but it was like having, that moment in the book, is something that it's like, oh, I wish that would happen. And so getting to experience that way, was pretty awesome too.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm so
I
glad
don't
to
want to give
hear
it
that.
away for people who haven't read it yet. So
Yes, yes, no, totally. And what about like the personality? Obviously, like, this is fiction. It's not, a reported biography of Ashley, how did you feel? Like, were you like, oh, these are the things that really do kind of remind me of myself, and these are the things that I thought were a little bit different about myself? And did that feel strange? Like, what was that all about?
yeah, well, I mean, I guess the biggest one is I don't drink alcohol
At
at
all?
all.
Yeah.
Ever.
Okay. So you were like,
So
what are
I
you
mean,
doing with these margaritas?
like, I've never even had one. I don't know what they even taste like. So,
Right, 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 right. Oh, yeah. I should have used that. And now I'm sorry about that. Maybe in the next book we'll use that. Right?
but
Because
yeah, I mean, there was a lot of, like, should I do this? Should I, that kind of debate. I do that a lot internally, So I mean, that was pretty similar. And, okay, I don't want to disappoint people, that kind of was familiar too. So
yes, yes, yes. Because you have that very big heart. I mean, and that was the thing that kind of like struck me the most when I was putting this character together. Now, have you ever been to Las Vegas?
no,
No.
no, I've never been.
So do you think you would ever want to go now? I mean, like,
I don't know. I mean, if the opportunity came, I mean, I really don't ever travel.
yeah.
So
So, okay, now here's something else I was thinking the whole time. What did your husband think of all of this?
he thinks it's pretty cool. Like he told his friends at work, that, oh, my wife's in a book, and stuff like that.
She's got a
But of
book
course,
boyfriend.
yeah,
She married.
yeah. I was like, hey, and there's good perks to that too. So,
And I was thinking about it afterward, and I thought, what would have been really funny? Excuse me. Imagine if I had asked Ashley what her perfect book boyfriend would be, and then built the hero like that as well. I mean, so we didn't do that, but what is like your perfect book boyfriend? I know you said you've never been with a musician and you thought that was pretty cool. So it sounds like I got pretty close. But
yeah.
is there anything that you think about, like, I love books where, the male hero is like XYZ.
Well, I tend to like the ones I like to read are like the enemies to lovers,
Yeah.
bully type, possessive, jealous type.
Yeah.
So, so I guess maybe something along those lines.
Yes. 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 And do you read like any specific subgenres more than others, like Motorcycle Club or things like that?
Usually like cowboy, just because it usually has a mention of horses somewhere, or
Yes.
like an odd one is veterinarians,
Oh,
which
okay.
is
Yeah.
out there. But yeah, that's another one
And
that I
is
like.
there any authors that you think we should all check out that you like?
Well, I really like, let's see, usually I'm trying to think. Now my brain is like blank.
All right, if you can't
I
think
do
of
a
it.
lot, I do a lot with like Veronica Eden
Okay.
and uh, let's see, Rachel Lee is another one that I
Oh,
read a lot of.
yes.
A lot of
She's
like
great.
the bully type. So
Okay,
anyone
yeah.
along those lines.
Yeah, and so you like how they come good, the whole
Yeah.
transition and I mean, that's part of the thing about romance, isn't it? It's like how the one person is the person that can help that person to become the best version of themselves, right?
Yeah,
That's,
exactly.
and I mean, that's what gets me about it as well. And of course, when you think about it that way, there's like never ending permutations of that because we're all so different, right? And have such different needs and yet like we can all relate to those things, right? Like it's so specific, but then there's a universal aspect to it where we all say, oh yes, I've had this experience and I can put it up alongside that and really empathize, right? All
Mhm.
right, so last and most important question. Now that you're famous, how has your life changed?
Well, pretty much about the same, but I've been telling some people, some friends about the book, and my sister and my mom, of course, and they'd
Oh,
all think it's super awesome that I got this opportunity and got to be in my own story, and
oh gosh,
it's
but
just.
you don't want your mom to read this book, do you? It's a bit hot for.
Yeah, I've been a little nervous about that. I've told her all of that, like not the spicy parts, but I've told her about
So
the
is she
rest.
gonna read it?
I think she'll probably end up
Right.
reading, but she's been warned that
Okay.
it's yeah.
There'll be a bit of blushing all around, but yeah. There are smexy times, so
Yeah.
But anyway, oh well, that's so much fun, and I'm so glad you enjoyed it. It was amazing for me, and it was such a good experience that I'm going to do it again and again and again with this series. It's just going to be a special thing that I do, and I mean, just to be able to have these relationships with people through the book is such a cool thing, It's like takes it to a whole other dimension, doesn't it?
Mhm.
I've really enjoyed it, and honestly, it's all down to you. So I really thank you for just being you. You're awesome. And then we did pick somebody for the next book, which is called Sebastian. And her name is Karen, and I'm going to talk to her next Friday. So if you
Ah,
have any words of wisdom for Karen, this will be your last chance to tell her. Don't
just
tell your
relax.
mom.
Yeah, just relax and go with it. Have fun with it. I mean, it's just the whole thing has just been, super fun, super cool. It's just, I've loved doing it, even though I had to kind of go outside my comfort zone
Yes.
a little, but it's been so worth it.
Yes. And, as my 10-year-old daughter says, she learned at her school camp that when you put yourself outside your comfort zone, that's when you can really grow, and learn. So hopefully it was something that just expanded it all and, just a bit of fun. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ashley. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.